Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live. We're going to start with this breaking news that just broke moments ago. I wasn't even planning on covering this, but it happened. Breaking. Judge dismisses manslaughter charge against Daniel Penny. Orders jurors to consider lesser charge. Judge Maxwell Wiley has dismissed the manslaughter charge against former Marine Daniel Penny and has ordered the jurors to consider a lesser charge of criminally negligent homicide. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know who this man is. This man was on a subway in New York City when a black guy was harassing people, threatening women, threatening children, and then this Marine put him in a chokehold, and that guy sadly passed away. But that guy was homeless, had alcohol and drugs in his system. So today, his case was dismissed. Praise the Lord. This is great news. This is fantastic, fantastic news. Now, as soon as you're in, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Let me know, what state did you vote for Trump from to make sure that he gets the electoral college victory and the popular vote? Here, let's continue. I want to show you this. So the Democrats, guess what they're doing? Guess what they are doing. This is Obama last night giving a speech. Where is the speech at? At a democracy forum. Obama just criticized the Republicans, accused them of rigging elections and weaponizing the justice system. This video, I've been planning this for a couple of days. I'm going to take you down a little memory trail, not far back, but you are going to be extremely, extremely happy, motivated, and you are going to see that Trump has accomplished something that nobody else has been able to accomplish. No leader, no president, no dictator, nobody, no king for a long, long time. Check this out.
There are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a permanent grip on power, either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents. And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure. That's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm. There are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a permanent grip on power, either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents. And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure. That's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm. There are going to...
So here's Obama at a democracy forum last night saying, there are these people coming who are going to take power, and they're never going to let power go. And these people are going to steal elections. These people are going to hold on to the grips of power and never let them go. Do you know what they fear, ladies and gentlemen? I want us to go. We're going to fly around the world, figuratively, in this episode. And I'm going to show you why they are talking the way they are talking, why they are saying the things they are saying, what is happening. It is not just in the United States where Trump won, where the Republicans took control of the Senate and are keeping the House, and we have a conservative Supreme Court. It is happening literally worldwide. Example number 1. Globalist French government falls. The rise of conservatism in Europe. The right is gaining ground in France and in several other countries in Europe. None has truly flipped yet, but it appears that people are growing weary of woke globalist agenda. On December 4, 2024, the French government was ousted after a no-confidence vote against Prime Minister Michel Barnier and his cabinet. Barnier, who has been in office for just 3 months, is now expected to resign, marking the first time since 1962 that a French government has been toppled in this manner. The vote was a rare alliance between the far left and far right factions in the French parliament, with 331 votes in favor of the motion, surpassing 299 votes required. Now, we see this in Germany. There is a new conservative movement rising up. Italy's Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, last year, who's a conservative, she won. She toppled a very, very liberal government. The Netherlands recently saw conservative leader Geert Wilders achieve a decisive victory in the national elections. But ladies and gentlemen, not only that, we're moving on to other nations. Here we go. Right-wing outsider, favorite in Romanian elections, Georgescu blasts globalists. And this is his quote: "The pedophile oligarchs run the United Nations. More than 8 million children go missing each year." That is right. This guy is about to win the prime minister, or I'm not sure if they have a prime minister role or a presidency in Romania. So not only is it just in the United States where we see conservatism and a populist movement on the rise, we are seeing it worldwide. We're seeing it in Italy. We're seeing it in France. We're seeing it in Germany. Who knows what's happening in the country of Georgia right now? By the way, pray for Georgia. Exactly what happened in Ukraine in 2014, the Maidan Revolution. Same thing is happening. Same exact thing to the final T is happening in the country of Georgia. Here's what's happening in Georgia. They had an election 2 weeks ago. An outsider, conservative, anti-war, anti-NATO, anti-UN president won in a landslide. Out of nowhere, these pink and purple-haired kids take to the streets, and they have weapons that only NATO has or military. They're burning down buildings. They're beating police officers. They are rioting and saying, "We want freedom. Russia stole this election." Same thing happened. And the kids are like, "We want to be part of European Union." But this guy who wants us, if we join the European Union, they're going to take all of our natural resources from under our feet and give us no money. There's literally no benefit for us to join the European Union. And he's anti-NATO, anti-funding wars, anti-United Nations. By the way, for those that don't know, the United Nations, the UN, the United States funds 27% of the budget every single year, but yet we only have a 1-seat vote, just like every other UN nation. You heard that right. For the same 1-seat voice in the UN, the United States is responsible for between 24 and 27% of the yearly budget. We pay more than anybody for nothing more. Same with NATO. We pay over 50% then if you take all the money that comes in, we pay more than anyone. But we don't need NATO. NATO needs us. So we have leaders that are rising up worldwide and saying, we're done with woke ideology. We are done with what you guys are doing and brainwashing our kids and pushing propaganda. Before I continue, ladies and gentlemen, I got to give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's live, the video, and the channel overall, and that is Verity Metals. This is a second-generation Christian family-owned gold, silver, and precious metal IRA firm. They protect your money against the collapse of the dollar, bank runs, bank collapses, and BRICS, building a brand new currency to take down the dollar. They protect IRAs, 401ks, retirement plans. You can get one coin, you can get a roll of coins, you can do IRAs or whatever you want. Matthew Geiger, the owner of the company, is a very good friend of mine. He's an America First patriot and a big supporter and donor to Trump campaign. So it's not a woke company. It's America First company who works with the patriot community to protect our finances. Go to veritymetals.com today or call him at 480-717-9081. Mention me, get free silver on qualifying orders. Let's continue. And last, but certainly not least, why is this happening? Well, there's a man, there's a boy. Well, let's call him young man. There's a young man at Mar-a-Lago, and his name is Barron Trump. How Barron Trump masterminded victory. Young Trump literally told dad how to win. Listen to this. One architect of President-elect Donald Trump's successful strategy of attracting young men to his campaign was none other than his youngest son, Barron Trump. A PBS report noted that in lambasting Vice President Kamala Harris, Trump won 50% of young male voters to her 42. That margin was likely the result of Trump campaign strategy to target those voters who, according to Time, absorbed their political views from Edgy Bro podcasts and social media. Instead of going on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, PBS, Trump went on Joe Rogan. Trump went on live streams on Stream and on Kick. Trump did a X space with Elon Musk that garnered over 200 million views in less than 24 hours. This is where the people are today. They are in the social media platform. They are on YouTube. They are on Twitter X. They are listening to Joe Rogan. They are listening to podcasts. They are, right? And this is why we are winning. And ladies and gentlemen, right now, I want to give a really big word of advice to all of us. We all have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Truth Social, whatever it might be. But we all are on social media. Make posts when Trump is inaugurated again and he does something good for the economy. He ends a war somewhere, secures the border, brings back a big American company that started in America, made billions in America, then went to either Mexico or China or Canada because their taxes are lower. When he gets them to come back, open up a new factory here again and employ tens of thousands of Americans, post about it. Post it on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your Instagram. Tell your friends and neighbors. Because you and I, we all have the power of social media. We are the news. If you have one of these in your hands, you are the mainstream news media. You are the news. You are the update. You are the voice. If we look at MSNBC, CNN, and even Fox, they are not friends of Donald Trump. See, unlike Joe Biden, where all these mainstream news medias just ran and said everything he wanted them to say and covered for his mistakes. Trump doesn't have that. But you know what he does have? We the people, a populist movement. Now, it is our job to do what the media should be doing, but refuse to do. And that is go and tell the truth about Trump's success, about what he's going to do, and the job performance of his administration. We are now responsible to do that, right? Trump did his part. He ran again. He won. He ran a great campaign. He garnered tens of millions of votes. He won the Electoral College. He won the popular vote. He carried the Senate, the House, and he has a conservative Supreme Court. It is now our job to be the media, to speak the truth. There was something, I do want to show you what here. I'm going to pull up Twitter. I want to show you this video that I shared yesterday. And it's, check this out. This is the media. This right here is the media for you, ladies and gentlemen. I know you don't like hearing her voice, but I have to. For this segment, I have to. Listen to this.
The presidential pardon was originally meant to grant the president the power to temper justice with mercy. It was not enshrined in our Constitution so that a dishonorable man could reward his criminal allies, friends, and family for their corrupt practices. I don't have a problem with Biden pardoning his son. He should have pardoned him. The crazies are coming, right? But to me, it's like, pardon more. The presidential pardon was originally...
You see that? In 2020, when Trump pardoned a few people, he pardoned people that were already sentenced, right? He pardoned them for what they were tried for. And do you remember the reaction of the media? Here we go, December 2020. Oh, it's not for one man to let his buddies out of prison. That's not what we do with pardons. Now, look at number one. Look what Trump did to her. This is what Trump derangement syndrome does to you, right? Look at her, bald, like
family pardoning his son. He should have pardoned.
Look at that crazy. Look at her eyes, and actually on both sides. I mean, Trump derangement syndrome is a real disease. I believe there need to be scientists and doctors who study people with TDS, how their brain functions, right? It's like if you walk into an appointment and the doctor's like, "How are you?" He's a racist. How have you been feeling? Trump's a Nazi. Oh my goodness, these people are wackos. Just look at her eyes. 4 years ago, when Trump pardoned somebody that already did a couple of years in prison, all right, it showed regret, was found guilty, and Trump pardoned him. That's one thing. And she's like, that's a bad thing. That's not how you pardon someone. 4 years later, Joe Biden pardons his own son, who's a crackhead, who's a criminal, doesn't pay taxes, and then sells America's classified documents that Joe Biden put in the garage. Not only does he pardon him, he gives him a blanket pardon going back 11 years. And this is something that the mainstream news media has not been saying, but I've read the pardon. From the moment that Joe Biden put pen to paper and signed the pardon lasted 5 hours into the future. So he signed it at noon, December 1st. The pardon went till 5 p.m. December 1st, meaning Hunter Biden could have gotten away with anything. So no matter what they find, even if they find a murder, let's say he unalived someone in the last 10 years, he was pardoned. He got the kind of pardon that Hunter Biden got. No one has ever got this kind of pardon. Never. It's never been heard of. As a wrap up, this is why I say we all just watch this thing, all right? how 4 years ago, what they said about Trump's pardons? You don't pardon your friends. You don't pardon your family. Right? You're not supposed to help out those you know. 4 years later, their president pardons his own son with a blanket pardon that's never been done before or even heard of, and pardons him into the future for 5 hours. They're okay with it. This is why I say, ladies and gentlemen, you and I are now the news. You and I are now the voice of the Trump administration. You and I are the people. It is our responsibility to speak the truth to power. There's a generation coming after us, and we need to save them from the mainstream news media. Not only that, we need to destroy the mainstream news media. How do we destroy it? Well, we make sure people don't trust them or listen to them again, because all they do is lie. They brainwash people. And the biggest thing I want to kind of, with the mainstream news media, ended with this. The biggest thing, I feel sorry for those people. When I go on TikTok or Instagram, on Twitter, and I'm scrolling and I see young kids, teenagers, young adults crying, saying, I fear that the military is going to come and shoot me because I'm gay or trans or bi. And who did that to them? Who did that to them? The mainstream news media, because they said Trump's going to be a dictator. If he wins, he's going to use the military to go after his political opponents. He's going to use the military against American citizens. If you're gay, if you're trans, if you're LGBT, he's going to kill you. Not only that, they said if Trump wins the 2024 election, we will not have another election again. He's going to cancel all elections and make himself king. And now those people are terrified. They feel like their life is over, and they go on social media and they cry, while the mainstream news media that made them believe all those things, the very next day after the election, like George Scarrow, Morning Joe, we're like, we'll try again in 4 years. Hold on, douchebag. Didn't you just tell your audience 3 days before the election, if Trump wins, we will never have another election again? He's going to be a dictator and a king? And use the military to make sure he's never ousted out of the White House? Didn't you say that 3 days before the election, then the morning after the election? We'll try again in 4 years. Screw you. Screw the media. Screw their lies. And the people that they are hurting is our citizens, our American people. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is up to us to make sure that we speak truth to power, that we bring everything, all the darkness into light, and bring light into the darkest areas, and we save our country. Again, on the closing, a big shout out to my good friend Matthew Geiger, the owner of Verity Metals. If you're interested in precious metals, whether gold, silver, I mean, it's a great investment and a great way to store your wealth and protect your finances. Go to veritymetals.com or call him at 480-717-9081. Get free silver on qualifying orders. Tell him Vlad sent you. He'll take care of you. He's a patriot. God bless you guys. I'll see you on the next one. See you soon.